Today we're going to look at 2 different approaches to wrapping Christmas gifts, while also giving you some tips and tricks we found useful to ensure your gifts look great under the tree. I'm Kirsten Dunn.
And I'm Todd Dermody.
And this is Dunn DIY. So the first method of wrapping that we're going to do is a Japanese style of wrapping, or at least derived from a Japanese style of wrapping. Essentially, it's a style where the box is wrapped diagonally in the paper, which allows for the seams of the paper to line up with the corners of the box, which just makes for a very sleek, clean finish. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this. I'm also going to be showing Todd how to do this because he's never done this before, so he will be learning on the fly. So, we're going to start out by laying out our box on the wrapping paper, positioning it diagonally, and we're going to lift up the corner of the wrapping paper over the box, and the goal is for the corner of the wrapping paper to be centered in the box and for there to be a tiny bit of overhang on either corner. Once this is positioned correctly with the corner, flip the box on its side and mark outside of each corner. So this corner will determine where you're cutting on this side, and then that corner will determine where you're cutting on that side. Once you have those 2 marks made, you can cut out your paper. Now that your wrapping paper is cut out, you're going to reposition your box upside down this time. It's important. And you're going to pull up the 2 corners of the long sides, and you're just going to make sure that all of your corners of your box are covered before you start taping anything down. Now, because this method is so clean and sleek, I like to go the extra mile and use double stick tape so you can't see any of the tape when the present is wrapped. The next step is wrapping the ends, and this is where it gets a little more tricky and it might take some trial and error for you. So we're going to start out by folding down the tiny little overhang in the corner of the boxes just so that doesn't get in our way. And then we're going to start on this side, and you're going to start by tucking this around the end and holding that. You can kind of increase that corner if you want. So we've tucked that kind of around, and now we're going to pull this whole side up. And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get that crease right on that corner. And then we can add some tape to the inside corner. And it's the same thing on the other end. So now we're going to walk you through our second method of wrapping, which is a tapeless method. This is Todd's technique, and I have so many questions. How did you get started wrapping without tape?
I started wrapping without tape because my wife and I were invited to a birthday party for a 1-year-old, and I wanted him to be able to unwrap his own present with very little help from his parents. So I wanted it to be a situation where he just pulled on a string, or ribbon in this case, and the wrapping fell away and there was his gift right in front of him. So we're going to lay out your package on your wrapping paper. I want to make sure that it's going to wrap around all 4 edges of the box so I don't run short and have a gap. And for the margin on the ends, I'm just going to wrap it up a little bit more than halfway, and then I'm just going to cut my paper. So what I like to do is just fold this in a little bit. It makes a nice straight edge, and you don't have a cut edge showing. So this side will go over first. And then this will meet roughly in the middle there. And this would probably be the first place where you'd put some tape if you were using tape. But in this method, you just hold it together with your hands and move on over towards the edge here. And we're going to make just some simple box folds. So the ribbon's going to hold it all together. I'm just going to measure out enough to go around all sides and do a simple bow on the top. So the top on this package is down against the tabletop right now. I'm just going to slip this in like so and reel out enough, make a little cross there. Okay, the ribbon's on its way. We've crossed on the bottom and ready to flip up to the top. This is the spot where I always need to remember, put on the tag. Because once I tie the knot, it's pretty hard to get that on. And what I'm going to do on this is actually just make one loop, and when I thread the other part through, I'm going to pull it all the way out. The one that isn't connected to the loop, I'm going to snip off right close to the knot. That just leaves one string to pull that makes opening the package easier. That's it.
Great.
Presents are ready to go. And then the best part, when the recipient gets to open it, all they have to do is pull a string, and it's that easy to unwrap.
These methods of wrapping may be a little more complex than what you're used to, but we've both gravitated towards these different techniques because they're something that we really enjoy. We hope walking you through this sharpens your skills, but more importantly, that you're able to enjoy the process and not just the finished result.